This conference will now be recorded.
Right. So hope you have noticed it. I uploaded the detailed notes for page reference. Okay. So it's a detailed notes. How to pass, how to navigate from one page to another page. We already seen using page reference class. Okay. And how to pass value from one Visual Force page to another Visual Force page through URL. Right. So when you pass value to the URL, we need to build the query string. To pass value from URL through URL to another page, we need to build the query string. So we are going to build the query string by question mark, a parameter name, value name, next to the page name. If you are passing multiple parameters, then separated by ampersand, we need to pass values. Okay, so this example, from one page to another page, we are going to pass the value. Then what we did, we build the string here. We build this string here because we are going to pass the URL to the page reference method. So here we are going to pass parameter also. So we build the string here in this format. Just string concatenation. The name equal to the value of the parameter is dynamically replaced from the get set variable. Okay, so when you build this and a URL will be loaded with parameter and value like this. So the next page, the page will be loaded with the value. How we are going to read the value from the URL from the Visual Force page, right? When you pass this, when you redirect to this page, employee detail page. So this is my employee detail page. So this is my employee detail page. So this page now will display like this: employee name equal to ampersand. Am I right? How did we build here? Phone number, experience, salary. So phone equal to something like this. Depends upon what type of input you are passing. That will be, am I right? Like this it will pass. So from here we are able to read by using a global variable $current page parameters dot parameter name. Okay, that's how you read the value from the URL. But what about how to read a value from Visual Force page from the URL? Sorry, Apex from the URL. So we have a method belongs to namespace Apex pages. So get parameter, name of the parameter, then it will always return a string value. This will always return a string value, right? So in our example, we need a experience and salary details. So experience is written in the form of string. The number is written in the form of string from the URL using this format. So we need to convert an integer to a string to integer. Okay, so when there is a requirement to convert a string to integer, a date to some other type, right? We get a date in the form of string, we need to convert into date format. Then what we will do, see in this example, we need to convert a string to integer. So what is a target type? What is a target type? If you are going to convert string to integer, so the target type is an integer, right? Then you have to use an integer primitive method. Integer is a primitive type. Every primitive type is an inbuilt class. Every primitive type is an inbuilt class. They have static methods. A value of is one of static method. We pass some object value here. It can be a decimal or string or right any value, whatever the value, this value of method is accepted. So here we are passing string. So we pass a string, say number, it will be converted to integer. Okay, so what is a target type? So accordingly we'll choose a class type here, the primitive class type. Suppose I have a date in the form of string like this. I have a date in the form of string. So with anything within single quotes is string, right? I need to convert this into date. So what is the target data type? Date. So what we can do? Date dot value of, will give the string as an argument. So what will happen? So in the left side, you can assign this to a date type of variable. People clear with this? So that's how we'll convert your string. So every primitive type is a convert to another type. Every primitive type is a class which has different types of methods. If you take your string, a string class, so string is basically we'll use in real time for uh, different types of string processing, right? We'll need a length of the string. We need a length of the string in the program, and we need to check whether string is empty or not. And we take only part of the string. Suppose I get a input in my uh, in my application. I get an input of email ID. I need to take only the domain part of the email ID, or only the local part of the email ID, right? I have something like this: at support at cts.com. I need to take only the company name from the domain, right? So substring, you are going to work on the part of the string. So we have a string class which has a methods, right? The string also have a value of method. Not every method will be important, may not be repeatedly used, frequently used, but some of the methods you will use. One of the method is uh, value of. So the value of a convert a date to string, right? Convert a date. What is a target type? Target type is always going to be string only, right? String dot value of. You pass the date, you'll able to get the string format. When you pass the date, it will convert into string format. When you pass a date time field, it will convert into string format. Got me? So that's what we used in our example here, and convert into string and calculate the bonus. People could do this. So this is what we covered yesterday. Again, upload the new version now. So a few comments I added, so I upload that version. Okay. We're going to see an array. Array is a group of similar elements. Array is a group of similar elements. So in general, the data type has two types, right? We already discussed about this. In general, the data type is of two types. One is a primitive, and another is a reference type. So a primitive type doesn't need any memory allocation. Am I right? To assign any value, I don't need any memory allocation. I can directly assign a value to the variable of primitive type. Variable of primitive type integer. So anything within single quotes is string. Okay, like that we have a date, decimal, even we have object type also, right? Object is also a kind of primitive type. So any value you can store. It's a generic type. You can store a number, integer, number, date, anything you can store here. It will accept. Generic type. It also comes under primitive type. It doesn't require any memory allocation. What is reference type? Reference type can be a system-defined class type, system-defined class type, or user-defined class type. Got me? System-defined or user-defined class type. And we have array, we have collection here. So all these data types require a memory to be allocated. So array is also a reference type. Array is also a reference type. Array is to store a group of value, not just one value. These are all single dimensional, right? Only one value I can store. If I need to store any other value, this value will be replaced. The 5 will be replaced with some other value. It's a variable, right? Variable always can be changed, but you can only store only one value in this type. Okay, where in the case of array, I can store a group of values, all the values should be of similar data type. When I say similar elements, it means same data type. It means a group of employee names. Okay, in other words, array of employee names, array of employee numbers, array of account IDs, array of cities. Okay, a group of city name, not one city name, group of city name, array of salaries. So like that, you can declare a variable to store collections of value. Got me? So what is the syntax of declaring array? Data type name, open and close bracket, square bracket, and your name of the variable. The name of the variable I mentioned as a array name. The name of the variable, right? So this is a variable and this is a data type. Okay, what data type? Array data type. It's a kind of data type. So array data type, which will take a data type here, which will take a data type name here with open and close bracket and array name semicolon. So just variable declaration. Got me? So people clear with this? So here I'm going to declare. So employee name is in the form of string, right? So what is the syntax? Data type string, open and close bracket, open and close bracket, and employee names. Okay, employee names. So string of employees. Say employee number is an integer value. Open close bracket, emp numbers. Account IDs. I like to store the collections of IDs. ID, open close bracket, ACC IDs. Okay, array of cities, again string. Suppose that salary is a decimal values, open, right? So this is how you will declare your array, a variable of array type. Okay, so this can be of any type actually. You can use any type of ID is also a primitive type. Yes, ID is also a primitive data type ID. You can store the record ID. Am I right? Record ID of your Salesforce object within single quotes in the form of string. In the form of string only you need to store it. Okay. So it's also a primitive type. Okay. So array can be of, and again this data type can be a primitive or any of the reference type like a system defined class type, user defined collections also. Oh, sorry, not collection. I'm wrong. Right. And okay. And S object type. Got me? S object means what? S object type means what? See here, array of account record. Not just one account record, one account. Array of account. Account. Open close bracket. Accounts. Variable. Okay. We know the single dimensional S object variable type, right? Account A. We already seen it. You can only store how many records you can store here in the variable? Only one record, account record. What about in this case? The accounts can store more than one record. Your array is always able to hold more than one value of similar elements. Every element in this array is going to be account type. Every element in this array is going to be string type. Every element in this array variable is going to be integer type. Group of similar elements. People follow this? Add elements into the array. So how to add elements with the array? So this is a reference type, right? So this is a reference type, requires memory allocation. Requires memory allocation before you store value, right? So a group of employee names. This is my declaration. So how we are going to add element to this? We are going to add element by allocating a memory. Okay. So emp names equal to, so this is how I declared it. Okay, this is how I declared it. People got this? This is how I declare this. I need to allocate my memory first. So new string, open and close bracket, open and close bracket. You need to specify how many number of elements you are going to add. So array is a defined size data type, defined size variable. It means we are going to specify how many number of elements I am going to add into the array. Okay, we cannot declare array without specifying the size of the array. So basically the syntax is data type, open and close bracket, array name equal to new keyword, open and close, n, where n denotes total number of elements in array. Size of array, anything you can specify, size of array, right? So you have to specify. So how many names I can add here? 5 names I can add here. So we are going to add, by referring the index. So basically this is a total number of elements, and array is going to store element in the form of index. So when you execute this statement, what will happen? A memory will be allocated, and there is no element added. So a memory is allocated, there is no element added, is the first element. It will be placed in a position in your memory called memory is referred by index 0, 1. No element is added. Got me? 2, 3, 4. That's it. So the position starts from 0, and so for the 5 elements, to store 5 elements, the memory is allocated in the sequential order. So that's the advantage of your array. The array will allocate a memory in the sequential stack in your memory storage. Okay. In the case of your primitive type, see, assume this is my memory storage. Assume this is a memory storage. I have this is how my storage. Just visualize this storage. Okay, and I'm trying to store. I declare a variable integer equal to 5. I store integer equal to 10. Okay, I store string name equal to 1. So this is how I declare it. Okay, so what will happen in the memory? You'll see something like this. You will follow this, something like this. Okay, do not visualize exactly, just on, for your understanding, I just put like this. Got me? So when you declare a variable like this, say it's stored somewhere here, your a val, and b val somewhere here, right? That we cannot store it sequentially. We cannot store it sequentially. Somewhere here, like this, right? Your name might be like this here somewhere. This memory is the name of the memory location is identified by name. The name of this location is identified by bval. Got me? So this is how the memory is allocated, something like this. Got me? Right. Now I am declaring a array. Say I'm declaring array integer value. Integer, open and close bracket, employee numbers. Okay, and I allocated memory. I wanted to store, say, 4 employee numbers. So what will happen? Now the memory will be allocated in one sequential order. So as soon as you execute statement, what will happen? The memory will be allocated sequentially. I'm not discussing about the size of the memory. That's not the consideration now. The integer value will take 4 bytes basically. Integer value will take 4 bytes. Okay, so right, it's a 32-bit, right? So 4 bytes will take. So memory will be allocated, sequentially 4 bytes. Next to another element 4 bytes, 4 bytes. So 4 into 4, 16 bytes will be allocated sequentially. So what will happen? If I store values here, for example, I store values 5, 10, right, 15, 20, then you'll see here the values are sequentially stored in the memory. So what is the advantage? When you look for any employee number, my searching is faster. My searching the number is faster compared to your primitive type. The regular declaration, one-dimensional declaration, because the value is allocated randomly. Memory is allocated randomly. Sorry, not value, but memory is allocated randomly. In the case of array, the memory is allocated in the form of stack, sequential stack format. The memory is allocated. So locating the value, searching the value is faster in the array, right? It's basically store the value in respect to index. The index start from 0, 1, 2, and 3. Suppose I need an employee number. From the index 3, then I can locate like this. Employee numbers, open and close bracket. I just do mention the index number here, right? So it will just get the value from that index. So we are pointing the location directly, the index, with the name of the array. Okay, when you display this in the system.debug, you'll get the value. Got me? So you can locate, you can search the values faster in array. So array is to improve the performance of your processing, and is used to store a collections of similar elements. Able to follow all of you? So it's a fixed size element. Once you allocate a memory, with the size of the array, the values, though you are not stored the value, but the memory will be allocated. Even though you are not stored the value, the memory will be allocated. That's the kind of disadvantage in the case of array. Okay, even though you're not storing the value, the memory will be allocated. Okay, now next we will see how to add a value to this array. Okay. There are two ways we are going to add. Static allocation. It means, sorry, not static. I can add elements. One by one. Okay. I make it as dynamic allocation. It's a dynamic allocation. It means we're going to add value during a program execution. During program execution runtime, we are going to add values. So we are going to add value. Emp names, open and close. I'm going to add element to the first index, 0. So why I'm using single quotes? Because array is of string type. Array is going to add elements of string type. So every element in this collection is going to be a string. Every element is going to be, array is a group of similar elements. Am I right? I cannot store here number. I cannot store number here, right? It will not be accepted. It should do. Only accept. It will only accept string value. People follow this. Two, three. Like this. All right. Can I go beyond this? I cannot go, right? Because the array size is 5. We already reached index 4. So it's the last element. The memory is not allocated. Your array, this array has only 4, can only store 4 elements. It's a dynamic allocation. Okay. Right. So once you allocate it, I can also display this by referring the array name. Array name is names, right? So we always use plural name for your collections of elements. So go with the plural naming convention. Got me? Right. So So we'll execute this in the developer console. People go do this. Just 1 minute. Lot of pages open. Okay. Are we using our org 325 only, right? Okay. Sorry. So this is the, yeah, we declare the array, then allocate memory, or else you'll do it in one single statement also. Okay. You declare the array, then you allocate a memory, or while declaring array also you allocate the memory and yes, and define the size. Okay. Then how we are going to add? We are going to add in this format. We are going to add in this format. Okay. So now we'll execute this. We will go to this. This is how I get the output. This output I got. Okay. So it is in index 0. This is in index 1, 2, 3. So whatever index we use to place this element, the same index, the element is placed. Okay. The same index, the element is placed. So how it will be stored in your memory? So this name will be here. You got this. That's how you'll see that, right? Suppose your screen is not sync. I am not sure whether everyone has this issue, right? See, everyone others able to sync with my screen voice.
Yes, sir, it's syncing. No issues.
Okay. See, if I allocate a array, again example 2, another example. Okay, we'll see another example now. So I'm declaring array of employee numbers, integer. Right. Say that I am going to store, let me five employee numbers, right? So emp numbers open 0. Some numbers I give. Similarly, to save my time, I just copy paste. When you do it, do not copy paste. Okay. Try to. So what I did here, like this. The number need not be sequential number. Okay, number can be in any order, or it can also be duplicated. A number can be in any order, it can also be duplicated. Okay, it doesn't matter. People got this? A number can be ordered and duplicated also. And I don't insert any element for the position index 2. I skip this. So what will happen? So this case, you will see the memory is allocated. So index 0 will have 101. Index 1 will have value 2002. What about index 2? It's going to be null always. It's going to be null. Okay. And 3003. And index 4 is going to have 1001. Makes sense, all of you? So this is how right, it's a defined size. Even though you're not utilizing the memory is allocated. It's a defined size. How many number of elements you are going to store, and this is how you'll add the elements. Got me? We'll go to this system dot. Right? So it's null, right? The value is not there. So we got a null. Okay, so this is your dynamic allocation we have seen. A dynamic allocation you have seen. Okay, we're going to see a static allocation. It means while declaring the array, I can initialize with the value. While declaring array, I can initialize with value. So this array, I'm going to initialize with the value. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open next to the square bracket, right side, you're going to open a braces. So here I'm going to give the value. Something like this. Okay. So how many elements I have? I have 7 elements. So in this case, we are not going to give the size here. So when you go with this format, initializing the array with the values while declaring itself, initializing the array, right? Then in that format, you don't use specify the number here. Automatically, whatever number of elements you have in this format braces, the memory will be allocated accordingly. People got this? So this is another format of declaring the array with values initialized. Okay, with the values initialized. You don't specify the size here. So we got output like this. You got this? No limit for array. No limit. Okay, no limit. It's you just declare any number of elements here. It's allocated. Okay, you'll see it's programmatically used along with SOQL. Okay, so we have limits for how many number of rows you can get in SOQL, but not in terms of storing into array. But we have a limits in the SOQL, right? We'll use SOQL in the right side, then you'll see those limits and all. Okay, now I think no scope deciding the limits and all right now. Okay, when you see combine the other SOQL examples all together, then you'll get a clarity on limits part, right? Okay, so right, array is a static allocation, right? So you can go for so people can practice this, right? Array to store. Okay, so you can just try declaring these all these arrays. Okay, let me give an exercise. Write array to store city values. You can parallel and write down also if you want to. Got me? Just you can store. Five city values. Okay, five student names. Write array to store. You know, say for bank names. Choose your own bank names like STFC, SBI. Got me? SUSCI, IDBI, etc. To store, you know, industry names. Five industry names such as energy, apparel, technology, whatever, education. Got me? Communication, like this. Okay, so you'll write array with a static initialization format. It means initialize a value while declaring the array. Got me? So string and close bracket, cities plural name. So how many number of elements? Five elements. Then you add elements one by one, or else I can go to this format. So initialize with the values. We will go to this. Similarly, string. Then you'll have your values here. Okay. Suppose these are students I'm going to store here. To save time, I just go with this copy paste. This it's a string, right? So you have to give it a single quotes. And store the bank names. So it's a string value. You go to this. like this. Okay. Got me? To store three salaries, three salary values, right? So decimal. Something like this. Okay, right. So how to display get the value? Get the value from array by referring the index. That's it. By referring the index. Suppose I have a array like this. I'm going to get the value. So my requirement is get the first name. Get the first element of the array. Get the first element. So students like this. Okay. What is going to return? It's going to return a string. When you do this, it's going to return a string. So I can display the first element in the array. So I declare some array here, initialize with some value, and I need a first element. So I refer the index 0. So the first element is the index 0, and it's going to return a string because the array type is a string. I can store into string and display it in the log. All right. Got me? So get the third element, get the name of the third element, right? The student name, system.debug, third element value plus students open. The third element is going to be in the index 2. The first element in the index 0. People got this? People got this? It's clear? Okay, so that's how we'll
Clear,
get
sir.
the value. Okay, right. Now I need to get the last element. Get the last element. Okay, to get the last element, we know like size of the array now. The 5, we can able to count it because it's less number of elements. We're able to count it. So we can display simply by referring the index. The last element, we know it's in index 4. There are only 5 elements. So last element can display like this. Okay, right. So there is another way you can also display. You can get the size of the array by using a method called the size method. Okay, by using the method called size method. So get the size of the array. If you know the size of the array, what is size of the array? 5. Then 5 minus 1 is going to be a last element. Okay. The thing is how to get the size of the array. The size can be used in multiple places. Okay, the size will be used in multiple places. Here I am going to get the last element. Okay, so how many number of elements there in the array? That can be the question, right? So by using size method. So students dot size. So what it is going to return? It's going to return an integer value. just store it into a variable called count CNT and display this. Total elements in array CNT. So there are 5 elements. Okay, there are 5 elements. So how to get the last element now? The last element now, it's just get the last element. So we are going to do like this. CNT minus 1. So it will be subtracted here from the last element. The size is 5, but index is going to be 4. We need to refer index only, right? Here. I get a last element, Praveen. Okay. Is there in your notepad for your reference? Okay. Right. Array of S object. Okay. What is array of S object? Array of S object is nothing but array of Salesforce object type. It's going to store a Salesforce object record. Okay, particular object record. Array of S object. Array of account. Am I right? Array of contact. Array of lead. People could do this. Array of case record. Right? Array of trainings. What is this? Custom object. Array of loans. So we just have the naming convention. We follow the naming convention plural name because it's going to store multiple records, right? So we know like single dimensional S object variable type and primitive everything, which can only store one integer value, one account record. But now this variable can store multiple account records. Am I right? Okay, store. Okay, how we are going to declare? Or else I say allocate memory. So it's a reference type, allocate a memory, account, open and close bracket, accounts equal to new account, open and close bracket. Same format you are following, right? So how many records I can store in this variable now? 3 account records. Every element is going to be of what type? Account type. What is the element you can store into this array? String. Every element is going to be of string type. Array has a syntax, data type, open and close bracket, array name. Right? So what is the data type you're mentioning here? That is a element type, that is a data type we are going to store into this array. So what is the data type here? Account. So what type of element I can store here? Account type only. Got me? So there won't be any, should not be any confusion here. Okay. I'm just repeating for a clarity. There shouldn't be any confusion here. Every element going to be stored in this array is going to be of account type. I'm not going to store here string or integer. Every element is going to be of account type. Okay, right. So now we are going to first create one element. Okay, if it is an integer, I can just directly store integer value, but it's account type, right? First you have to create the account record first. First we have to create one element one account record. First you have to create one account record. Okay. In other words, one element for your array. How will you create account record? Account A equal to new account. So this is my one account record, right? This is my one account record. So now A1 is what type? A1 is a kind of account type. So now I can add element A1. I can add the element A1, right? A1 is of what type? Account type. So I can only add element of account type only. I can add only element of account type. People follow this? Okay, just I like to recap. I have integer roll numbers equal to new integer. Say 3 roll numbers I can store here. Okay, I have roll number here. Integer R1 equal to 50. Integer R2 equal to 10. Equal to 70 something. There are 3 roll numbers here. I'm going to add this roll number here. How we are going to add? These are the values I already have. I'm going to add roll numbers, these values into this array. I'm going to insert all these elements to this array. What you will do? Roll numbers 0 equal to R1. If we go to this, roll numbers 1 R2. Whatever, wherever you like to store. Whatever the index you like to choose and to store this element R3. That's it. So I have element, I'm storing this, storing into array, right? So what you are doing now? What you are doing now in the to store elements? First we have create an account record, then we are going to store into this array. How we are going to store? Accounts open 0 equal to A1. That's it, right? So what type of element I can store in this array can store? Array can only accept an account variable. So we create an account variable and store here. We created an account variable and store here. Similarly, right? So 3 account records we can create and store here. Accounts 1, 2. Right? So let's display this and see what is the output you get. This is what we are going to execute. Declare the array that can store 3 account. Once you do this statement, what will happen? A memory will be allocated. Everywhere it's going to be null, right? The three contiguous, right, sequential memory is allocated. Everything will be null. Now we are adding element. So still the last element is not added, right? The index 2 is not occupied. That's going to be null always, right? It's null. Okay, so I get output like this. Why I do not see any value here? Because we haven't okay. Just move this here for a reference. Okay, right. So the value is not added here. That is one thing. So reason it's a blank. It's object type, so it takes this format: account colon open braces, account colon open braces, because it's going to have a field inside, but none of the field is no, we are given value. No other field we haven't given value to any other field, right? In case if we give value, then you will see the value will also displayed. Okay, people got this? So create account record. So that's what we did here. The last element was not inserted, so it's being null now. Okay, so this is a case 1. Case 2, so create account records with some values. Okay, so we just repeat this and see what happens. So now a1 dot name equal to, so what we did now, give some value. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to add one more account record. People are just, to save time, I'm just uh, copy paste and change the numbers, but you don't do this. Okay, I feel tired entering the codes always, right? So 3 records we created and add this record into array. Okay, right, we need to allocate array also, right? There is array declaration. Yeah, it's here. Sorry, array declaration is here. So this is what I would like to execute. So array is declared, which can hold 3 records. Now we display this. So what output I get? I get output like this. People got this? So where this element will be stored? This element will be stored in index 0, and this will be index 1, and this will be index 2. Okay, so in the case of your memory, this is going to be in index 0, this is going to be in index 1, this is going to be in index 2. So there are 3 account records. People go to this. It's clear.
Yes, sir, able to follow.
Get the first account record or first element from the array, from array accounts. I need the first record from the array. Got me? I need a first account record from the array. Right, we'll go here only. Right. See, the same format you are going to use. How to get the first record? This array name, open 0. That's it. Okay, so every element is referring one element, right? Is referring one element in the array. So what is the one element? One element is nothing but account type. Every element is going to be account type only. So where I can store this? I can store it into account variable. Right or wrong? That's how we'll do. The first account record. Get the first account record and store it into a variable. So on which variable I can store? An account type only. Got me? Get the a third element. Okay, so we are going to get the third element, accounts. Third element is index 2. So what it's going to return? It's going to return an account variable, a variable of account type. Element is of account type only, right? That's what we stored here. That's what you're going to get from the array. That's what we store into the array. That's what you're going to get from the array. We just reverse it, right? It's go to right side, it goes to the left side. That's what we did here. That's all. We reverse it here. Again, we reverse it here, right? The right side goes, takes the position left. Both are same. That's it. Okay. How to get the size, total number of records in the array? Again, size method. Get total size of the array, or how many number of account records is there in the array, right? System dot debug accounts dot size method. So it's going to return the total number of records in the array, the total size of the array. 3 will be the value, right? That's how we declared it. Okay, right. So now get the name of the account, get the name of the first account record. So this is my requirement. Get the name of the first account record. First get the first account record, then get the name. How will you get the name? ACC1 dot name. We know how to refer the a field from the variable, right? From the account variable. So what it's going to return? String. That's it. Okay. Get the name of the first account record and display in the log. So how will you do this? System dot debug ACC name. Got me? People go to this. So after this, we just added some whatever is tried in our notepad. Get the first record, second record, third, and get the size and get the name. Line number 22, yes, double slash. Duplicate variable, okay. ACC1, ACC3. We already use ACC 29. Yeah. Oops. So got the name of the first account record. We got the name of the first account record. So I just copy and paste it here, right? Okay, right. So exercise for you. Declare array of lead records. Declare array of lead to store the below lead records. Okay. So last name, status of the lead, or else rating of the lead, a company name of the lead. Got me? Just one hot ABC. Test 2 cold. Test 3 warm. Right. Okay. And then store the elements, store all the values, and then get the first lead record, get the last lead record, Got me? And get the a company name of the third lead record, right? So do this exercise. I will also see I can upload some more examples in the chat in the second of my day today. People got this? So today we have seen array. I hope everyone able to follow this. We'll connect tomorrow. Continue the array concept and the other collection type. Okay. Right. See you all tomorrow then.
Sir, today and yesterday video, when we can expect in our video classes, sir?
It is already been shared with them. They delayed and I need to check with them. Just drop
Okay,
an email in meantime to them.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Take care, all of you.